Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So these are lots to negotiate on this current video today. Obviously, as we all do know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has basically said, there has been lots of speculation this summer of obviously players coming in and of course players going out. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is very adamant that we haven't received any bids for our players, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say that we don't have to currently sell any of our players, and we don't have to sell many of our players. And he also said, we're not intending on overspending of course, on our current transfer tax. And quite a few people have said, we should be sensible over our current recruitment this summer. We do believe there's just under 4 weeks remaining now in this current transfer window, so I do believe we do need to be more competitive now in this current transfer window and all that. Obviously, so far this summer, we have spent around £65 million on Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka, and obviously, we have seen glimpses of Wan-Bissaka and Daniel James in our, two pre-season games. So that's just proving how good signings, that Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka are. And I do believe they're going to exceed expectation levels at Manchester United, and I do believe they've definitely got all the attributes to currently succeed at Manchester United. But they're both 21 years of age. They are both very, very young, and obviously we do know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, wants to recruit British talent to Manchester United this summer. But Wan-Bissaka is going to do really, really well. But obviously, we're going to want to build on that, and we're going to want to bring at least 2 or 3 more new additions to the squad. So I do believe now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priorities, will be to recommend an experienced centre half in. He'll also want to add reinforcements in at midfield, and he'll also want to recommend a right winger to come in. So I do believe there is still lots to address in the squad. You can see deficiencies in the squad, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to build a squad worthy of the club's history, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is hopeful that he can get Manchester United back to glory. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think recently was speaking about Sanchez's and Paul Pogba's ambitions for next season and all that, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is desperate to keep Paul Pogba at the football club and all that, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say Manchester United can rebuild around Paul Pogba, and he also said Paul Pogba doesn't need to leave to fulfil his ambitions and all that. And we do know the likes of Paul Pogba, Romelu Lukaku, obviously both being relentlessly linked to remove weight from the football club. I do believe we probably do need to sell players to help us generate funds and of course rebuild the squad and all that. I think initially we had been given around £200 million to spend, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say a couple of months ago he wants to bring at least 5 new additions to Manchester United and all that. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said we will be aiming for third up than fourth going on into next season in the Premier League, as I did currently update you on. I don't know about that. I'm a bit sceptical about what he said about that, because I think our expectations going on into this season will be to probably finish in the top 4. I do believe our aspirations will be that top 4 in the next couple of seasons. I may be proven wrong, but I just don't think we're competitive enough at the moment. Obviously, analysing our current squad as it stands at the moment, it isn't potentially good enough to win the league, or currently a challenger for the league and all that. And I say regardless who our manager is, even if we did have a manager to the highest level, I still think they would currently struggle with this Manchester United squad. Maybe now we may only make one more sign and all that, and this this could be actually Harry Maguire. He could be the last sign we do currently make and that this summer. But like I did say, we need to revitalise the squad, and still lots needs to be addressed in the squad, as you all do currently believe and all that. Some people actually think that the midfield and the right wing is actually more essential than recommending a centre half in and all that. But like I said, Manchester United have started pre-season really, really well. 2 wins out of 2. Obviously beat Perth Glory at the weekend by 2-0. Obviously comfortably beating Leeds United today by 4-0 and all that. And I think the youth really stepped up today against Leeds. I thought Chon did well when he came on. Gomez did really, really well when he came on. And I did indicate out to you, the one thing I do like about pre-season, I know it's meaningless it's pre-season and all that, but the one thing I do like about pre-season, upcoming players get more experience under their belt and all that. And obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went with an 11 in the first half, and then obviously went with another 11 in the second half like he did at the weekend against Perth Glory and all that. But it was a comfortable victory for Manchester United. Mason Greenwood, like I said, he scored a goal. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has assured Mason Greenwood first team football going on into this season and all that. So that I'm very, very excited about that, because obviously Mason Greenwood did very, very well for the reserves. Like I said, so Mason Greenwood did get the first goal. Obviously, Rashford scored the second goal. Obviously, Scott McTominay, was the architect because obviously, he played Rashford. I thought Rashford's, goal were fantastic. Lovely finisher from Marcus Rashford. Like I said, the third goal was from Phil Jones and all that. Very, very good header from Jones. And obviously, the fourth goal came from an Anthony Martial penalty. I think the penalty came from Chong getting fouled in the box. But yeah, it was a very, very comfortable victory for Manchester United, like I said. But very, very good start to pre-season and all that. Like I said, David De Gea didn't play today, as we all thought he would have done. Like I said, David De Gea was ill. This is why he didn't currently play. Obviously, hasn't made an appearance yet on tour. He hasn't made an appearance yet on tour. I do believe David De Gea probably will be involved when we do currently go to Singapore. Obviously, with Lukaku as well, he didn't play today because obviously he'd sustained a knock, so we all thought Lukaku would have been playing today. But I do believe he will be involved when we do go to Singapore. Obviously, the likes of Fred and Darmian and all that. Obviously, they didn't travel to Australia, due to family reasons. Neither did Dean Henderson, but it has confirmed that Fred, Darmian, and Dean Henderson, will be, will link up with the squad, when we do currently go to Singapore and all that. I think actually, some of the experienced players today, though, were quite disappointing. To be quite honest, I thought Mata was pretty poor. I thought, Matic was really, really poor. I think Matic has been poor in these first two pre-season games. I think Matic has been very, very poor, like I said. I don't think Lingard, was that very, very good. Did Lingard have a chance in the game? I don't think he was that, very, very good. I thought Bay, and Lindelof, did okay at the back. But apart from that, I thought the majority of the players, played really, really well. But I thought Pogba was absolutely sublime. He could have actually, got his name on the score sheet, Paul Pogba, because I think he had about 3 great chances in the first half. Obviously, one came from a free kick and all that. But like I said, a very, very good start to pre-season. So we have got a bit of a busier pre-season. Obviously, we've got Inter Milan coming up at the weekend. Obviously, like I said, in Singapore and all. I do believe it's the International Champions Cup. So maybe probably David De Gea and Lukaku are probably, going to be involved in that game. Then obviously after Inter Milan, we do currently play Tottenham. I think after Singapore, we do go to Shanghai, which is obviously in China. So I think Inter Milan, Tottenham, then I do believe it's Kristiansund, and then of course I think we go up against AC Milan, and I do believe of course that's our last pre-season game. But I did say we need to see vast improvements going on into this season, because last season was disappointing. We finished 6th. We didn't win many silverware and all that, and we haven't won any silverware in the past couple of seasons, like I currently said. But analysing it at the moment, City strides ahead of us. Obviously, Liverpool and that are strides ahead of us. So we have got to catch up with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. That's very, very essential indeed. But like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say, he believes we'll be aiming for further up than 4th going on into this season and all that. But like I did currently say, I think if we do sell the likes of Pogba and Lukaku, it will help us with our rebuilding process, of course, and it will help us with our transition, because we'll generate quite a lot of money for their current departures. But I do believe the extortionate amount, we have currently put on both players. This could be the stumbling block of both players, leaving Manchester United and all that. But yeah, overall, very, very good performance today. We'll give you some latest news on the current, give you some latest news now on transfers and all that. Obviously, we do know it's looking likely that Harry Maguire is going to be our third signing this summer. As you all know, Harry Maguire is a central defender. Obviously, he has been on our agenda for quite some time. So analysing it, Harry Maguire has been relentlessly linked to a move to Manchester United. But I do believe the stumbling block is actually Leicester's valuation, because obviously Leicester are demanding that they want at least around £80 million. So Leicester are basically demanding a world record fee. So obviously Manchester United or Manchester City are going to have to pay a world record fee for him, to obviously, making the most expensive defender in the world, because obviously the most expensive defender in the world at the moment is obviously Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk, who of course Liverpool paid £75 million for back in January 2018. And obviously you can't put Harry Maguire in, Virgil van Dijk's calibre or level, because I do believe he's on such a much more higher level, this Virgil van Dijk, than Harry Maguire, because I do believe Virgil van Dijk is the best centre-half in the world. But I still believe Harry Maguire is a very, very good player. But like I did say, the valuation seems to be the stumbling block, because Manchester United or Manchester City are not willing to pay what Leicester of course are demanding. Obviously Harry Maguire has informed Brendan Rodgers. He's also informed his Leicester teammates that he does currently want to leave Leicester to obviously rejuvenate his career, and of course take his footballing career to the next level and all that. Obviously it did allegedly say over the weekend that obviously Manchester United reached an agreement with Leicester. He said reportedly we'd agreed a world record fee of around £80 million, a world record fee fee of around £80 million. So he did initially say Man United did pay £60 million up front, £20 million in add-ons, which does potentially rise to around £80 million. It did allegedly say earlier on this week, that Harry Maguire was set to have his medical with Manchester United on Monday and all that. This is what he basically said. And I think he actually, did leave the training camp. I do believe he did participate in that friendly. I don't think he started again, but I do believe he came on as a substitute, Harry Maguire. But I do, really, really like him a lot, because I do believe, we haven't had a world class we haven't had a, a defence to rebuild on, since we had the likes of Vidic, since we had the likes of Ferdinand, since we had the likes of Evra, since we had the likes of Neville. Since that point, we haven't had a really good defence to rebuild on, and we haven't had a world class central defender since we had the likes of Vidic and since we had the likes of Ferdinand. So obviously, I think that defensive area has been a problem for quite some time. And obviously, last season we conceded 54 goals in 38 Premier League games. So that just indicates how the issues, of course. So we have currently got defensively. I do believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified Harry Maguire as his number one defensive target and all that. But obviously, reflecting back last summer, Ole Gunnar Jose Mourinho's priority, of course, when we had Jose Mourinho, was obviously his priority was to recommend a central defender to come in. But obviously, reflecting back last summer, the board weren't back in the signings that I wanted to recommend in to the football club. One of the players Mourinho wanted last summer, of course, was Harry Maguire, and I do believe the rumours have continued to persist since then, linking Harry Maguire with a move to Manchester United and all that. But like I did currently say, he's currently going to cost us an extortionate amount. But talks have been going on for several weeks, between Manchester United and Leicester. Also, Manchester City have held several talks with Leicester. But Leicester have confirmed they will let Harry Maguire go as long as Manchester United or Manchester City, of course, are willing to pay him a world record fee. Obviously, on Saturday as well, it did say Harry Maguire became infuriated with Leicester, blocking his proposed move to Manchester United or Manchester City. But reflecting back a couple of weeks ago, it was looking like Manchester City were going to get a deal more of the line for Harry Maguire. I do believe his preferred preference is Manchester City ahead of Manchester United. Obviously, City were seeing him as an adequate replacement for Vincent Kompany. City were reportedly willing to pay him around $280,000 a week, but obviously, City are not willing to pay what Leicester are demanding. I think City are only willing to pay around £60 million. Obviously, this is too insufficient for Leicester. Obviously, Manchester United have already had a bid turned down for Harry Maguire. Obviously, we put around the £70 million bid in for him. Was it the other week, according to Sky Sports? Obviously, we had this £70 million bid turned down and all that. But like I did say, I think Mike Phelan has instructed Manchester United to get a transfer prioritised there for Harry Maguire, because actually, during Mike Phelan's short tenure at Hull, obviously, he currently managed Harry Maguire. So obviously, Harry Maguire has played under Mike Phelan's guidance and all that. And I think Sir Alex Ferguson instructed Manchester United to get a deal over the line for him. But he is Premier League proven he's Harry Maguire, plus he's British, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talent to Manchester United this summer and all that. Obviously, like I said, he's proven in the Premier League, so that's also very, very, very beneficial. In his prime, still a lot of years ahead of him, but I do believe Harry Maguire's his defensive abilities are good. He's very, very good in the air. He holds his line really, really well. I think his passing's very, very good. He isn't really fast, so he's a bit static, but I don't think that's currently an issue and all that. And I do believe he would blend in alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline, really, really well. Because analysing Victor Lindelof, I think his performances have been fantastic for Manchester United. In his second season, there were vast improvements in his game in his second season. I thought in his first season he struggled. He was a bit inconsistent. Struggled with consistency, but he didn't really settle in. But I thought Lindelof in his second season, really stepped up to the mark. And obviously there was, I think recently he did say that Barcelona were in for Victor Lindelof, but I do believe Victor Lindelof dismissed the speculations, linking him with move to Barcelona and all that. So we do know how imperative Lindelof is, but we just basically need someone that can go alongside him. Some Manchester United fans have said maybe we need two central defenders and all that. But Harry Maguire's been at Leicester for a couple of seasons. Obviously, Leicester did pay around £17 million for him from Hull City, a couple of years ago. Obviously, he signed a new long-term contract with Leicester last summer, so he is under contract with them until 2023. And I think in all competitions for Leicester, he's played 76 games. Obviously, 69 of those appearances have come in the Premier League and all that. But Harry Maguire, of course, is our number one defensive target. But I think the actual fee is the stumbling block at the moment, because Manchester United are not willing to pay what Leicester are demanding. I think we are willing to pay, the same amount as what Liverpool paid for Virgil van Dijk back in January 2018. But I think we are reluctant, to pay over £75 million, of course, for his services. Obviously, Leicester are going to want a replacement for him if they can currently offload offload Harry Maguire. He did allegedly say earlier on this week that Leicester had reached an agreement with Brighton for Lewis Dunk. He said they agreed a deal around £45 million and all that. But like I did say, there's been so many central defenders on our current agenda. Obviously, Koulibaly was on our agenda for quite some time, but I don't believe we're going to get Koulibaly because obviously Napoli are reluctant to offload him. I think the only way we could get him is if Manchester United are willing to pay silly money for him, but obviously we're not orchestrating him on doing that. And I did say there was contradictions to the stories about Koulibaly, but Napoli are basically reluctant to offload him, so I'll say he's out of the equation. Obviously De Ligt, he was one of our priority targets at one point, but it's looking like De Ligt's going to be going to Juventus. There is still some people talking about Toby Alderweireld from Tottenham. Obviously we've been in Fissi deal in the last couple of weeks, but I do believe if we can get a deal finalised there for Harry Maguire, I do believe we are willing to offload one of our centre backs, because analysing it, I've got quite a lot of centre backs. I think we've got around, is it 5 or 6? We've got the likes of Lindelof, we've got Bay there, Smalling, Jones, Alex Tuanzebe. So I do believe, we have got around 5 or 6 central defenders. So if we do get Harry Maguire, I think we probably will sell one central defender, and it won't be Victor Lindelof, so we'll discard him. So it could be Jones we could get rid of, it could be Smalling, it could be Alex Tuanzebe, Rojo as well, I forgot to mention him. I don't think it will be Baye. I think Baye is obviously not going to be at Manchester United, going on into this season and all that. But yeah, we definitely need to get a central defender in. I want to give you a bit more. I want to give you a bit of news in regards to Giovanni Lo Celso from Real Betis. Now, I haven't spoken to you guys about Giovanni Lo Celso for quite some time now and all that. So basically, we do know he's a current midfielder, and obviously we do know Manchester United want to add new additions in that midfield. Regardless of what happens with Paul Pogba, I still believe it's in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, to get a couple of new additions in that midfield. Obviously, Ander Herrera left on a free transfer, so obviously we are going to need a replacement for him. Obviously, we do know that Fellaini left back in the January transfer window, so yeah, we definitely need to address that midfield. We need someone who can come in to bring us them goals in that midfield, someone who can rejuvenate the team and all that. But there's been quite a lot of midfielders on our current agenda. But with Giovanni Lo Celso now, reportedly he's handed in a transfer request at Real Betis as Giovanni Lo Celso, because Giovanni Lo Celso has blatantly made it clear to Real Betis, that he does currently want to leave. He does reportedly say, Manchester United and Tottenham have been battling out for his services. I do believe Giovanni Lo Celso's preferred preference, of course, is a move to Tottenham. I do believe Tottenham have held several talks with Real Betis for quite some time now, or for the majority of this summer and all that. Obviously, reporting back, was it a month or two ago, Tottenham had lodged in around a £53 million bid. Obviously, Real Betis had currently turned this down because this is too insufficient for Real Betis. I do believe Real Betis have accepted the fact that Giovanni Lo Celso does want to leave their club, but I think they've confirmed Real Betis that they want somewhere in the region of around £70 million. Obviously, Giovanni Lo Celso's release clause is around £88 million and all that. Obviously, Tottenham themselves so far this summer, I do believe have got around they've got 2 players on the board. Obviously, they signed Tanguy and Ndombele from Lyon. They did initially sign Jack Clark. They have signed Jack Clark from Leeds, but I do believe he has gone back on loan to Leeds and all that for next season and all that. But Tottenham did confirm the signing of him. But yeah, Tottenham have been heavily linked with that Giovanni Lo Celso. He's only 23 years of age. I do believe he's primarily a central midfielder, so I do think he's mainly a boxer to boxer and all that. Don't really know much about the player. Like I said, his release clause is £88 million. I do believe last season was his first season with Real Betis. Obviously, for the majority of last season, he was on loan with Real Betis, because initially Real Betis, did get him from PSG. Obviously, Real Betis did have the option to buy him permanently. Obviously, Real Betis, did make the deal permanent in April by paying around a further 19 or 20 million pounds, something like that. So they did currently make the deal permanent. So if Real Betis can basically offload Giovanni Lo Celso, obviously PSG will benefit from it, because obviously PSG do get a percentage of any sale for the player and all that. But yeah, Manchester United, I still believe are in there for him. But I believe if he does leave Real Betis, he'll probably end up making the move to Tottenham. But I think maybe the asking price is a stumbling block, because maybe Tottenham are maybe not keen on paying £70 million of what Real Betis are demanding, and that is an extortionate amount for a 23-year-old. He's Argentinian and all that. But yeah, I've updated you about Giovanni Lo Celso quite a few times and all that. So obviously it still says reportedly Manchester United are in for him. But like I did say, there has been quite a few midfielders on our current agenda. Obviously, with Bruno Fernandes and all that, obviously, we do know for the entirety of the summer that Bruno Fernandes has been linked with move to Manchester United and all that. Again, the fee, seems to be the stumbling block and all that, because obviously, Sporting Lisbon, have said they want somewhere in the region of around £70 million. Obviously, Manchester United are very sceptical. Very sceptical about this £70 million figure, because reportedly we're only willing to pay up to £50 million for his services. Obviously, he has been one of our main priority targets is Bruno Fernandes. With the situation of what's going on with Paul Pogba, I do believe that's not having any effect on Bruno Fernandes coming to Manchester United, like I said. So I do believe Bruno Fernandes' move to Manchester United is not dependent on of course what happens with Paul Pogba and all that. So I do believe with Bruno Fernandes, I think he has notified his representatives that he does want to make the move to Manchester United. So I do believe he's turned down Tottenham. He has turned down Liverpool, even though Tottenham and Liverpool, of course, have expressed their interest in Bruno Fernandes and all that. He did reportedly say, I don't think we've yet submitted a bid, but recent reports did indicate out saying that we are preparing to put around a £50 million bid in for Bruno Fernandes and all that. Maybe we feel as though this is going to be enough, to convince Sporting Lisbon to currently offload him and all that. He does reportedly say we've made a contract offer. This came from the Mirror yesterday, I think, and it's reportedly said we are willing to pay him around £5.5 million a year, which does equate to around £100,000 a week and all that. And Manchester United have obviously held several talks with Sporting Lisbon for the entirety of the summer and all that, but obviously we have not yet come to an agreement on a fee. I was reading reports in the last couple of days, and it said Ed Woodward has said no to Bruno Fernandes, because I think the Manchester United board have got concerns about spending quite big on players who haven't really got experience to the highest level and all. And Bruno Fernandes hasn't really got experience of playing to the highest level, but he has still currently got that experience. And I think the board as well believe he's currently too expensive. Bruno Fernandes. I think the only way we would be willing to pay around £70 million for him, of course, if we could currently offload Paul Pogba and all that. But like I said with Bruno, he did actually indicate out, was it 2 or 3 weeks ago now, saying that reportedly Manchester United had agreed to personal terms. He said that obviously a contract term and that had been agreed, but obviously no fee has yet come to an agreement. Obviously Bruno Fernandes has held talks with his representative, discussing them about the move to Manchester United. I think last week Manchester United held several talks with Sporting Lisbon. And all that. I do believe last week as well, Manchester City had held their talks with Sporting Lisbon, because obviously reflecting back, was it 6 or 7 weeks ago, it was looking like Manchester City were going to get a deal over the line for him and all that, but it had confirmed City had withdrawn their interest. To be quite fair, Sporting Lisbon haven't been quite reliable enough so far this summer and all that, because they actually assured at the time that Bruno Fernandes was going to be going to Manchester City, but obviously he's moved to Manchester City and of course it never currently happened. But I do believe Bruno Fernandes' agent was in the UK a couple of weeks ago, and I do believe he allegedly held talks with Manchester United to thrash out a deal for Bruno Fernandes. I do believe he's also held talks with Tottenham and Liverpool, but Bruno Fernandes, like I said, very good player, can score goals, can create chances, and I do believe he would be the right solution for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes signed a 5-year contract with Sporting Lisbon last summer, so he's on the contract with them until 2023. Obviously his initial release clause is around £88 million in his contract with Sporting Lisbon, but obviously Manchester United are nowhere near determined to go anywhere near that figure and all that. But I think Federico Varandas, the Sporting Lisbon president, he did basically say quite some time back and all that, that there has been talks, but with Bruno Fernandes about his future and all that. But he is only 24 years of age. I do believe he's primarily an attacking midfielder, so we would see him as an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba, of course, if Paul Pogba does leave the football club. Bruno Fernandes, I think, scored 32 goals in all competitions last season and all that. But like I did say, if we do get a deal over the line for Harry Maguire, and obviously we're going to have to pay an extortionate amount for him, this could obviously have a bad effect. This could have an effect on Bruno Fernandes making them move to Manchester United. But I do believe our number one priority now is to recommend a central defender in. Then we are going to focus on bidding some players in that midfield. But like I did currently say, we've got quite a few midfielders. Obviously, you've got Matic, he's too inconsistent. He's not getting any younger, he's aging up. And he's been very poor in pre-season so far as Matic. Obviously, we've got McTominay. I thought McTominay played well today. And with McTominay, he's inexperienced at the moment. But like I said, he's going to gain more experience and that in pre-season and all that. And I think he's going to get more chances, going on into the Premier League next season and all that, which is very good. Obviously, we've got the likes of Fred. Obviously, he hasn't played in pre-season as yet. I'm very, very sceptical about Fred. I don't know if he's the long-term solution for Manchester United, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. If his long-term solution there for Manchester United, we did overpay for Fred, I do believe, because obviously, we paid £50 million for him last summer from Shakhtar Donetsk, but with Fred, he hasn't really been given the chance. He never really got the opportunity under the Jose Mourinho era. He did, play well towards the back end of last season, did Fred, but I still don't know if he's a long-term solution for Manchester United. We've got Andres Pereira, of course, as well. Obviously, I think he needs to gain a bit more experience. So, like I said, we definitely need to address that current midfield. Obviously, I'll give you the latest news, obviously, the other week, didn't I, about Milinkovic-Savic from Lazio, and there was a lot of talks about him, going on last week. It did reportedly say we'd identified him as one of our priority targets, of course, and if Paul Pogba leaves the football club, but I do believe we're only willing to finalise a deal for Milinkovic-Savic, of course, if Paul Pogba does leave Manchester United. So he's moved to Manchester United. He's dependent, of course, on what happens with Paul Pogba. Mario Lemina, like I said, I do believe now Manchester United are no longer interested in Mario Lemina. But like I said, there's been so many midfielders, of course, on our agenda. I've obviously, given you the latest news about Sean Longstaff. I think we are set to withdraw our interest now in Sean Longstaff, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Obviously, he's got a bit of experience under his belt. I still believe he's inexperienced fully at the moment because, Sean Longstaff only broke into Newcastle's senior squad in December of last year. And I think he thrived under Rafa Benitez's guidance last season. I think he did put some good performances out, but Newcastle are demanding too much, basically. They're demanding an extortionate amount, for a player of, Sean Longstaff's calibre and level and all that. So I'd still say he's upcoming, is Sean Longstaff. And now Newcastle have indicated out that they don't want to sell him. Basically they're saying if they are willing to sell him, they want to bid in the excess around £50 million. But I do believe Manchester United, will be very, very sceptical, of course, about paying this. I can't see Manchester United, paying £50 million for Sean Longstaff. Initially, we only rate Sean Longstaff from between 18 to 20 million. And obviously, Newcastle are demanding, more than double this. He confirmed in Sky Sports the other week that we held high-level talks with Newcastle about Sean Longstaff. He did confirm we haven't made any official bid for the player. He did reportedly say we was orchestrating on putting around a £30 million bidding for Sean Longstaff, but obviously, this is too insufficient for Newcastle, like I did currently say. He's got a 4-year contract. Reflect on his impressive performances last season. He got a 4-year contract, so he's under contract with Newcastle to 2022. I still believe he's regaining full fitness because obviously he sustained a knee ligament injury back in March. So obviously he didn't play the last couple of months of last season. They currently Sean Longstaff. But I do believe now, we are currently set to withdraw our interest in the player and all that. But I thought we'd been initially given a boost in our pursuit of Sean Longstaff, following the departure of Rafa Benitez and all that. And I think, Sean Longstaff was keen on staying with Newcastle, and I think he was keen on continuing his developing process and that under Rafa Benitez. So I think with Newcastle, they just believe that Sean Longstaff is fully committed to their club. He's primarily central midfielder, Sean Longstaff, so he's mainly, box to box. He's only, 21 years of age. But we do know Manchester United, of course, have been in for him. But I do believe now Newcastle have said, they want £50 million. I can't see, Manchester United willing to pay this. Like I said, we're not willing to overspend on our current transfer targets. But I do believe we actually are moving away from the policy, over signing them well-established players and all that. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer believes he's following a policy anywhere that proved successful under Alex Ferguson. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is following Alex Ferguson's philosophy, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did basically say he actually said that Alex Ferguson, he believes Alex Ferguson, he believes Alex Ferguson, turned him into a current winner and all that. But yeah, he's following Alex Ferguson's footsteps, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has currently confirmed. Obviously, I've been giving you the latest news on a regular basis in regards to Romelu Lukaku. We do know that Romelu Lukaku has been relentlessly, linked to move away from Manchester United and all that. And for the entirety of this summer, Lukaku has been speaking about his proposed move to Inter Milan. Obviously, Inter Milan and Manchester United have held talks for quite some time now and all that. But I do believe if we can sell Romelu Lukaku, I do believe it will be beneficial for Manchester United. I also believe it will be very, very beneficial for Lukaku himself, because obviously Romelu Lukaku now has initially lost his place in the team with Manchester United. Obviously we do know since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended in, we do know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice preference has been Marcus Rashford, of course, ahead of Romelu Lukaku, and of course Romelu Lukaku is unhappy about this. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say anyway, spoken to the vast majority of our players this summer. Obviously, he's spoken to Pogba in regards to his long-term future. He confirmed he talked to Romelu Lukaku last week, pleading to stay at the club for one more season, because he did say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, wants Romelu Lukaku to stay at the club for one more season. But Lukaku has blatantly made it clear, that he does want to leave Manchester United and all that, because he doesn't like the way he's being treated by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the last 6 months. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, still knows how much of an imperative player that Romelu Lukaku is, even though he has initially lost his place in the team and all that. But like I did currently say, we've said basically, we want around 75 or 80 million pounds. So basically, we're looking to recoup the money that we did pay for Lukaku a couple of years ago from Everton. I do believe we could also, we may also want to gain a little bit of a profit as well. And I do believe our valuation seems to be the stumbling block of Lukaku, making his proposed move to Inter Milan and all that. Obviously, Inter Milan inquired about getting him on a 2-year loan, so they did make this 2-year loan offer worth around £9 million up front, with then the obligation to buy for the fair 54 million pounds. But obviously Manchester United turned this down because we're only willing to let Lukaku go on a permanent deal. Obviously it did get confirmed there last week that the Inter Milan sporting director had travelled to London to hold negotiations with Manchester United, to thrash out a deal for Romelu Lukaku. I do believe Inter Milan have been trying to offload a couple of their players to help them generate funds to meet that 75 or 80 million pound valuation. But Inter Milan, of course, have currently struggled to do this, like I currently said. But now Inter Milan have reportedly come up with a new plan. It actually reported out, I think, from Sky Sports earlier on this week. It's also been in other media outlets saying that reportedly now Inter Milan are willing to meet our £75 million valuation, only of course if the deal includes bonus payments. So I think it did mention in quite a few media outlets that Inter Milan will reportedly want to spend around a guaranteed £60 million. And it also got mentioned that there was something to do with 15 million in bonuses, 15 million add-ons included, with bonuses and all that, depending on how Lukaku, does perform at the San Siro. So I think they're willing to reportedly pay, is it around 60 million up front, or is it 40 million up front, or something like that. But I do believe Inter Milan, still want, payments, to be structured over the next couple of years. So maybe it is 60 million pounds willing to pay up front, and also, they want this 15 million in bonuses, depending on how Lukaku, does currently perform at the San Siro and all that. Whether Manchester United, of course, are willing to go along with this, I do not know. We'll probably turn it down, because I do believe, we want all the 75 million pounds in one go. But like I did currently say, for the entirety of the summer, has been linked to a move to Inter Milan. Obviously, reports indicated out, was it last month, saying that allegedly Lukaku had agreed the personal terms with Inter Milan. It also said he had agreed a contract worth around 108 grand a week, but obviously no fee has yet come to an agreement. Obviously, Antonio Conte has identified him as his number one target. Obviously, reflecting back a couple of years ago, Antonio Conte, wanted Romelu Lukaku at that point. This is when he was Chelsea manager, but obviously ended up making the move to Manchester United. But Lukaku did describe Antonio Conte as one of the best managers in the world. So I do believe Lukaku does want to play under Antonio Conte's guidance, because probably believes he will flourish under Antonio Conte's guidance and all that. But Lukaku, like I said, has still got 3 years left in his contract with Manchester United. Obviously, he's been at the club 2 years. He's been exceptional in his 2 years. He was exceptional in his first season with Manchester United, but didn't really replicate this form, of course, in his second season. He scored 42 goals in 96 games for the club in all competitions, but you do now have got strong concerns about him and all that. Obviously, he hasn't got that finishing assets, he hasn't got that endless potential, he doesn't get enough them runs in behind, he is too slow and all that. But despite that, his goal scoring pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League, and his ratio is very, very good. And I do believe Manchester United, did overspend on him a couple of years ago from Everton. Everton got, a decent amount of money for him, 75 million. There was actually add-ons included in the deal, so it did potentially rise it to around 90 million pounds. And obviously, if Lukaku does leave the football club, and we can come to some agreement with Inter Milan, I do believe we need to get we do need to get a replacement in for him, definitely. Some people say we've got Mason Greenwood now. Obviously, Mason Greenwood is obviously he's going to be assured more playing time going on into this season. He's going to get him promoted into the first team, but he's still a bit inexperienced at the moment. You have got Chon. Chon's done well in pre-season so far, but he's still inexperienced at the moment. You have got Rashford and Martial, very, very good players, but both very, very young. Again, Rashford and Martial, but like I did say, I do think that Rashford and Martial have not got to that level yet, where they do currently want to be. And I think it's going to take them a couple of years, to graduate into that level where they do currently want to be, Martial and Rashford. But there's been quite a few people mentioned, who could replace Lukaku at the football club. There's people talking about Moussa Dembele from Lyon. Obviously, there's been talks about Wissam Ben Yedder from Sevilla and all that. And I do believe, based on Wissam Ben Yedder's experience, I do believe he would be the right time player for Manchester United. He can also score goals, as he has proven in his 3-year period here with Sevilla. I think his initial release cost is around £36 million. There's a lot of talks about Ben Yedder, currently going on the other week. Some people have mentioned Mario Cardi. Obviously, Inter Milan have tried offering us Mario Cardi in exchange for Romelu Lukaku and all that. So yeah, there has been quite a few names mentioned who could replace him at the football club. But like I did currently say, obviously with the De Gea, he's on the verge of signing a new contract, which is very, very good. So hopefully with David De Gea, he's going to be participating in Singapore. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer basically said with the contractual situation, it's up to the club and David De Gea, when they do currently announce it, when it happens, if and when, and all that. This is what he basically said in his current press conference. Also Luke Shaw as well, he didn't play today. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't initially say anywhere in his press conference, he might not be a risk, even though he was training on Monday, because Luke Shaw did sustain a hamstring injury at the weekend against Perth Glory. So I do believe he has recovered from injury. So I probably believe Luke Shaw will be involved in Singapore against Inter Milan and all that. But like I said, I hope Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can take Manchester United forward, like I said. But like I said, we have been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years. And like I did say, the main factor reason why we've been a toxic club, because obviously we've been mismanaged. This is obviously the main factor reason, of course, why we have been underachieving. But a hell of a lot of money has been invested into Manchester United, since Alex Ferguson retired. We've had different managers with different philosophies and all that. But like I did say, regardless of our managers, we're never going to achieve what we achieved under Alex Ferguson for 20-odd years of success. No one's going to ever follow Alex Ferguson's legacy. And obviously that's something we've got to accept. But obviously we just want to be back, to being a competitive elite level football club and all that. But I do like pre-season. I think it is meaningless pre-season, to be quite honest with you, but I still like it because obviously it gets, the upcoming players chance to get a bit of experience under their belt and all that. But so far, we've done really, really well in pre-season. Inter Milan, could be a tricky test. I think Tottenham as well, could be a tricky test. He's Tottenham in China. I think Tottenham's in China. We'll have to currently look that up. But yeah, Inter Milan coming up on Saturday, like I currently said. Probably presume Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference will be either tomorrow or it will be on Friday and all that. So I will currently have a look at it. So that's been everything to update today, guys, like I currently said. And I did with Sanchez as well. I do believe Sanchez is currently injured at the moment. So obviously, he hasn't played at pre-season yet. I think he's set to recover from his injury late July. Solskjaer did initially say in his first press conference before Perth Glory that Sanchez's injury, of course, was not too severe. Obviously, with Sanchez, we found it, well, for the majority of the summer, we've been trying to get rid of Sanchez, but obviously we found it very difficult. Obviously, based on his substantial wages. Before I go, I think we need to sell Darmian and Rojo as well, because they've both enjoyed difficult times at the club. With Darmian mainly because he hasn't really been given the chance, and Rojo, obviously, the amount of injuries he has sustained. So I do believe we can generate around 25 or 30 million pounds for the departures of Darmian and Rojo and all that. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.